Welcome to the Hills Triples podcast with the crew of Harnessed Adrenaline. Harnessed Adrenaline's mission is promoting outdoor recreation through education, conservation, and advocacy. We hope this podcast allows you the opportunity to learn about hunting, fishing, and any other outdoor recreation activity. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 11 of the Hills Triples podcast, Got Tags. This week we'll be talking over all the tags that we drew and our game plan going into it. And I'm going to throw it on over to Charles.
Alrighty, so in terms of tags that we drew, the only one I'm actually waiting on is actually an antelope, which I should find out about the 28th of June. The antelope in Wyoming. Everything else is really going to be over the counter for me or leftover tags. So, I mean, in terms of hunts, that's all I have going on. But kind of just to give you guys a little insight on my hunt plan, be it points. Sorry, I got a little cold. Hunts I'm going to join on or hunts themselves. I'll just kind of go over my thought process, my game plan. And what I did last year that I'll probably never do again. So last year, I'll start with that. Last year, I actually had put in for deer and elk and got both tags. And Nick's the king of this, focusing on one species per year. That's it. Maybe he'll do two, like with an added bear or something like that, but it's never like, hey, elk and deer. And I hadn't, I kind of just screwed the pooch, as some would say, in terms of really drawing both those tags and not being able to put ample time into just one hunt. So I would urge you guys, next time you guys are going in for your drawing and all that, think about that. If you're like, oh, I have 7 points here for elk, 7 points for deer, and it takes 6 points to draw the elk and deer tag that you want, maybe be like, hey, I'm going to put in for the elk tag this year and then next year focus on deer. I think that's going to be the best solution for success for anybody. So in terms of my points in Colorado, I bought sheep, goat, bear, antelope, moose, deer, elk, and turkey points. I also I'm weighted with sheep, goat, and moose now, so we're rocking and rolling there. Hoping.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. I'm pumped for that one. Also, probably the regular thing: buy points for antelope in Wyoming, like I do all the time. We'll probably do that. So that's all the points I have right now. Though again, that's all the species really for Colorado. In terms of hunts that I have, in mid-August, and I'll find out again, I think June 28th, but mid-August, some buddies of mine and I are planning on an antelope hunt up in Wyoming. So looking forward to that. Those are always fun hunts. I wouldn't say pressured hunts. It's just kind of, hey, if we get up at 9:30, we get up at 9:30 because we stayed up sipping on Grandpa's cough medicine till 3. It's fine.
Grandpa's cough medicine.
Jeez Louise.
Gosh, you're so old, Charles.
Dude, I wish I wasn't. And then I have a whitetail hunt early October, the first weekend of October to be exact, down in South Carolina. That's over the counter.
Sweet.
And then I have a second season bull tag that I'll get over the counter, rifle in Colorado. And then a fourth season leftover cow tag that I'll get, again, rifle in Colorado.
That hunt is going to be stellar, bro. We had so much fun last year.
It's going to be bombs over Baghdad, buddy. We're letting them fly. I'm confident up to 650, 700. We're rocking and rolling.
We're going to be stacked up too, man. We got a lot of guys trying to go this year, so it's going to be packed out at Ian's house.
We're just going to cover the whole unit with us.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I got some areas picked out I want to hit this year.
It's going to be a Harnessed Adrenaline season out there for season.
That's right.
It is. And then in terms of hunts I'm joining on, actually, I got 2 so far. This could obviously increase. It's not going to decrease, but for first rifle, a buddy of mine drew a pretty solid deer tag. I'm not gonna tell you guys where, but it's really, really solid in Colorado. Way more solid than the unit I had even. So he's been waiting for about 10 years for this tag, and we are going to get after it with him. And then also the big hunt that I'm actually looking forward to, probably my favorite, even more so than my own hunt, is the hunt with Josh Nielsen from Scree. Nick and I are going to just go and see if we can, call something in for him really and help him pack out. I mean, it's not necessarily
So pumped.
just kind of show him what's going on, and show him how we do it here in Colorado. Last time I hunted with some guys from Utah, they shot some birds, and they're like, "Welcome to Utah," because our guide wouldn't let them. Was like, "Oh, those are too far. You guys can't hit them." Obviously, dropped them, and "Welcome to Utah."
Welcome to Utah. I love that dude. That dude's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out Russ, actually, down in Utah.
That's right. That dude was so cool, man. Those dudes were so much fun. And just so you guys know, that deer tag Charles is going on is Unit 942 in the Arctic Circle.
Exactly so. Yeah, that's actually exactly where it is. I'll be there the exact dates of January 2nd to January 13th. Obviously, all that's a lie. But yes, I mean, that's really my plan. What I've been working on, I guess, to prepare for really everything in terms of the hunt is, with me, it's always been, or especially I'd say the last probably 6 years, it's been really physical in terms of trying to understand and adjust my breathing, trying to realize that I'm not, a mountain goat like Nick or a speed weasel. Excuse the analogy, Lane, but I mean, also weasels are badass and fast. So I can't or a ram like Ian, but I also know there's a lot more that I can control on my end, and so I'm just trying to pull that out and truly give myself the best shot at success and also not death. That'd be pretty dope to be around in 2025. So we'll see if that happens. If not, it's been good. But yeah.
He reminds me of like a bull, man. He's like stubborn and immovable, but he's a freaking workhorse, man. Well, last year on that 4-season hunt, busted back, still carrying stuff, still climbing up the mountain. I mean, just huge opportunity for all of us to come together, and he put the research in for all of us to be successful. 4 cows in 24 hours, 3 on Thanksgiving morning. I will talk about that till I'm in the grave.
Dang.
Yeah. I regret not going on that hunt, but just seeing the pictures was amazing from you guys.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have something like it this year, so it's all good.
So Nick or Lane, which one of you guys wants to go next? Elkhorn Coffee Roasters at elkhorncoffeeroasters.com has been our longest sponsorship. If you're like us on the team, finding consistently great coffee is almost as tough as finding that 350 plus class bull. Scott and April have solved this search. Most orders are roasted just after the time of ordering. Go check out their selections, from whole bean to steep bags for your on-the-mountain adventures. Use promo code HA for 15% off orders of $25 or more.
Go ahead, man. Yeah.
So, I kind of just got preference points for all the animals like Charles mentioned before, and then mostly my main goal is, like I always do every year, is just an over-the-counter archery hunt. So my game plan is kind of start researching different areas, because I think the Mesa might have hit the point creep because of that draw-only archery. I think a lot of people put in up there not realizing it. But my hope for is be able to get on that over-the-counter hunt for an elk and see what I can do. I know my one coworker's son, he did an over-the-counter hunt last year and was extremely successful. And I think the over-the-counter hunts seem to have a lot more fun, because you kind of are in that, you're not pressured to kill an animal exactly like because you bought into that, but the over-the-counter is just one of those things that is really, it takes me back to Montana, where you went into the grocery store the day before hunting season and got your tag and just hoped to kill an animal that year. But of course, hunting season up in Montana is a little bit longer than here in Colorado, so But I think last year I really kind of, like Charles said, screwed the pooch on it because I got an elk and deer tag last year and during archery season, and it was just it was like he said, you can only focus on one animal or the other, and myself I was trying to focus on try to find both animals, and I think that was my biggest downfall last season is because I put myself on animals, and I should have taken the shot at the cow elk that I had with the archery tag, but myself was not being smart, being like, oh, I want to do it for a bull, and I should have just taken the cow tag, should have just tagged the cow out, and then focused on deer, but because I saw that cow opening day, and that was a mistake. But overall, I think over my game plan is kind of what I look forward to doing every year is kind of this part of the year right now. I kind of do ultra training and I run around up in the mountains. So instead of shed hunting like Nick and Ryan do down there where they are, I kind of run around the mountain, as Charles alluded to, being the speed weasel. I try to run around up in the mountains, find different trails to run on, and I do my best to keep my head upright instead of falling over on the branches and stuff. But overall, I think this year is really just going to be that over-the-counter hunt, and then also just being around with the guys throughout wherever I can be fit. But with the change in the fourth season of the elk for the rifle season, it's going to be a little cumbersome, seeing the fact that they moved it up a week, so I don't have that week-long break like I do every year for Thanksgiving. So we'll see how that goes.
Here at Harness Adrenaline, we understand how important hydration is, not only for hiking miles into the backcountry, fly fishing the Colorado River, or while summiting peaks across the nation. That's why we are so excited to tell you about the all-encompassing Grail GeoPress filter and purifier, One Press Global Purification. Right now, use Adrenaline20 for 20% off of any order, and be sure to check out all the other products available at grail.com.
No matter what, it's going to be a great year. I truly am in belief of that. I think we all have put in immense amount of work, and it's really shown. You know, we've got a lot of different areas that we can all help each other. You know, again, Ian and Charles are both the research masters when it comes to looking at a unit, picking it apart on the computer. And yeah, Cookie and I are always willing to go into the deepest, darkest holes, knowing that it's going to be hard to get out. But I'm excited, guys. I think there's a lot coming ahead for us. So we just got to keep plugging away, keep turning those wheels.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be a great year for us, and I think that, like you said, Charles and Ian, if anybody has any questions about how to e-scout or anything like that, they need to hit those guys up, because everything that I've learned from e-scouting, I've learned from Charles, and I'm gonna dig down deeper and pick Ian's brain on how to e-scout a little bit better so that I can be more successful.
Yeah, never a bad tool to have. But you know, for me, I have been blessed to draw. You know, Charles, you give me too much credit saying I focus on one species, and yes, that is absolutely true. I've always had it in my mind. Thankfully, the last 3 years obviously have been very successful doing such things. But this year is going to be a little different. I ended up stacking myself with 2 archery tags, one for bear and one for deer in the same units. So that is definitely going to be a little different. We have not figured out how to hunt bear properly, I would say. However, we have good tools. Obviously, shooting my bear, and then Cookie's son shot a bear, even though we didn't end up finding it. We know where they go, and we know what they like to look for. The big ones, the big red bear that actually charged me, she keeps eluding us, but that's all right. You know, maybe it's not the time for her or him. I don't truly know what it is. Actually, it's probably him, because I've never seen it with cubs, thankfully. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna try to put some meat on the ground and go after it really hard. The deer is really my focus. I've always dreamed of a nice velvet buck. There's not huge deer in the area that we're going to, but there's really nice deer. We've obviously picked up some really nice sheds. We have one buck in particular that we have 4 years off of now, and unfortunately, he's started going downhill from what we found. His best year would have been the shed set from 20, actually, it would have been 2020. We found it a little late. It was hard white, and he was a monster. Really nice deep forks, 4x4. And then, unfortunately, like I said, he's progressed downhill the last 3 years. But it would be awesome to have shed sets off of him and then him on the wall, regardless of what size he is, just because of the history there. And then the bear, obviously is just kind of secondary, in my opinion, for this year. I don't need another bear necessarily, but it's fun to take the time. And then, yeah, we've got, a bunch of other hunts on top of that. I'll also be doing the 4-season cow hunt if I can get it. I know Ian was kind of mentioning to me the other day, tags are going to go quick, so we'll see who all gets them in the secondary draw. But nonetheless, I'll be on that hunt, even if I don't get it. I mean, my freezer's full still. I've got so much meat in my freezer, it's almost ridiculous. So it's probably not a bad thing if all I got was a deer. But we will give it the old college try and see what we can come up with even more. As far as hunt prep goes, it's really a mental game for me. The physical aspect is there. I have what I need tool-wise in my legs and in my lungs to know that I can get it done. But the research aspect behind the bears, especially, and how they use this terrain in this country, what they're looking for food source-wise come that time in September. Charles knows when we hunted elk, there's water everywhere in this area, so I don't think that'll be useful for the deer. And, we'll just have to see how things progress. It's definitely, it's beautiful country, but Charles knows it's thick and it's difficult. I don't think a spot and stock is necessarily the direction for deer, so I'm going to have to try to come up with a better game plan for that. Obviously weather dependent, but yeah, we'll get out there no matter what and give it a go, and obviously then, of course, just like both of you guys, I've put in points for everything under the sun, everything that I could. And there's a lot of dreams going forward. Sheep, I think I have 6 or 7. I forget where I'm at with sheep. That's my highest. Goat and moose, I'm at 5 each. Antelope, I'm kind of shooting for the stars, going for a ranching for wildlife tag, so that's going to be a long time. I don't necessarily have it in me right now to shoot a speed goat, but maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll follow Charles up to Wyoming here soon enough and go get a speed goat up there instead.
It's so laid back.
Hell yeah.
It's so laid back.
I know, and I'm not against that, man. I mean, we get up, we have no issue getting up, right? But that doesn't sound like a bad hunt to me, sleeping in and just going as you go. I mean,
It's so
I'm
much
not
fun.
upset
Having
by
dance
it.
contests in the dirt. I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah. That 4-season hunt though, dude, I mean, again, we joke about it just because of how amazing it was. But I know I shot my cow at 530 yards, and that was a poke for me. Really, that's also why I'm glad I switched to bow this year. I've been successful with my rifle, and now it's time for me to focus on something else, another challenge, push myself even more, give myself a new opportunity to learn and grow. So the bow is where it's at. So I need to get shooting a little bit more, get prepared mentally, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a mental game. It's not going to be a physical game for me. It's really going to be telling myself to slow down, really pick the country apart, glassing all the dark timber. There's going to be some different tools that I have to bring into this that I haven't used before. So But yeah, I mean, other than that, I know Cookie. I forget so him and his wife and his son all put in for deer at a southern unit. We actually have private land permission. A very generous woman that he met basically just wants the deer off her property. They're eating up the hay fields for her horses and this and that. So they were blessed with 2 tags. I forget exactly who drew them. So that's going to be a good hunt for Luke. She's got an awesome hay blind that they're going to sit in. I mean, I think that's such a different way to hunt it. Private land in a hay blind, like that's going to be super cool for Luke to experience, give him an opportunity to be successful.
Right.
And that's just a great moment for him and his son to share together. And then, yeah, obviously the scree hunt, we've got to start really figuring that out and getting things dialed. I've got a gentleman that ran his dogs for hogs when I was down here in, what was that, like early April?
Yeah.
He's planning on coming out with his brother to do some elk hunting. So got to get them figured out. And then obviously Casey and Keith, shout out to those guys. Every year are always willing to come out and put some time in the woods. Plus my buddy Delbert and so on and so forth. I mean, we're stacked up. It's never a short season for us, right? There's never truly one hunt. So, and yeah, I mean, other than that, huge shout out to Scree Gear. They absolutely hooked Charles and I up.
They did.
And it's so ridiculous. The gear that they sent out is absolutely astounding. I love the merino wool shirt that I got. I've worn that almost every single shed day I've gone out. It's so light, it's so comforting, and it's just absolutely the best, especially in the warm days. Even though it's a long sleeve, you sweat a little bit, and then it just feels like you're so cool for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
As that just a little bit of breeze hits you, and it's just like your own personal AC unit.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's awesome.
I mean, I love this stuff too, and I've always been one of the type of people who has always thought, well, I'm only going to use one of the top 3-4 names in terms of gear, hunting gear, camouflage, and Scree has really changed my outlook on that. I mean, Scree is a mom and pop shop owned company that's still the same. I mean, the same family owns it, and it's going to be that way for quite a while as long as I'm here. And so it's really amazing. The people are great too. I mean, they're just sweethearts. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And we always like repping great companies. On that note, don't forget we got the Grail discount code. We got the Ridge belts. I mean, truly, you guys got to check these products out yourself. We can't say it enough how amazing they are and how useful it is to have great products on the mountain, not just for hunts, but outdoor adventures in general. It's hugely beneficial. Don't constantly buy the cheap stuff just because you think you can't afford something.
right.
Spend a little bit extra money, buy that great product, and you'll have it for a long time ahead.
Like a backpack, huh, Lane?
Oh yeah, like a hunting pack. Make sure you go out and make sure you have the right one. Otherwise, you're going to be regretting it for years to come because you still have a knot in your shoulder because of it.
Yeah,
JanSport.
Yeah, JanSport.
One more thing about the Ridge belts, guys. Even if you don't necessarily maybe you don't hunt, or maybe you're called into the outdoors as an ice climber. We're going to have one of those on here in about 2 months as that season starts to kick off. The Ridge belts are insane. I travel for work, and I'll literally just change it out. It takes 2 seconds, and I have the plastic belt on. I walk right through security. No one even scoffs or looks at it. And, when you travel for work, you don't give yourself the 2 hours allotted. You end up getting there 30 minutes before your flight. So you're not trying to get stopped because you have your belt on, and you're not trying to take anything off. And so Ridge Belts really has changed the way that I travel and live, for that matter. So it's truly great company. Again, smaller mom and pop company, two great people started that. And shout out to them, and I'm sure they'll be getting after it in Utah this upcoming season. So,
yep. And just side note, shed season's still not over. I've been kind of MIA, doing a lot of traveling, switching jobs, things like that. But we've got trips still planned, and we're not done. Taylor found an absolutely stellar set. Found an absolutely giant deadhead. It ended up being right around a 380 bull. We've got, I think I've got, so when I get back to Denver or Colorado tomorrow, we've got Saturday and Sunday for sure, hiking, checking cameras. The following weekend is my birthday weekend. We're going to go moose shed hunting where I found that antler last year. And, I've got the young man from Ruttentines, Hunter. He's going to come out and check it out with us. And so truly just huge shout out. We still got to get Eric from Hush on here. I know him and I have been kind of talking back and forth. He's so swamped with everything, as you guys know, but we're going to get him on here. We're going to get Derek Wolf on the podcast as well. That's going to be huge. So just pay attention to our social medias, pay attention to the guys' individual journeys and adventures. And as we progress into bow season and everything like that, there's still more things to look forward to. So we appreciate all the support, constantly getting messages of people excited for what we have and what we're doing, want to be a part of it. And that's truly what this is all about. As hard as it is, with more and more people getting involved because the hunt gets harder, that's the only way we keep this going, is more people get involved, get the youth involved. Wounded Warriors, shout out to Lex and Justin for always hosting Wounded Waterfowl Project. They are absolutely awesome. We'll be doing more of that next year for sure. And thank you so much for all of the recognition and praise you guys give us continuously. It's so appreciated, and it means a lot to us. It's truly what we love, and we love sharing it with you guys.
Yeah, guys, get after it.
Get after it. And also, we didn't touch on this earlier in there, but congratulations there, Charles, on your successful weekend.
I went hunting for something else, and
I got hitched.
Did not get married yet.
Not yet, but shoot, it's coming.
It is coming. She's a great gal. She got up at 4:30 a.m. to go shed hunting and kind of scouting with Lane and I, and didn't squint an eyebrow. I mean, she was down to get after it and just learning about the Western Slope and things like that. So she's amazing.
I think that's the biggest shout out of all. Charlotte, Kiki, and Ashley. I mean, all three of them, they all put in work for us to do what we do and to be out there with us. I mean, goodness gracious. I don't know, man. There's something about the women you guys picked. You guys made a good choice.
Yeah, they did, for sure.
Hopefully y'all will be following suit here pretty soon.
Oh, don't wish that on me yet.
Yeah, don't put that bad juju on me.
Oh, goodness.
Lord. All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, get after it. And as always, follow us on Instagram at Harness Adrenaline and on our website at harnessadrenaline.com. See ya.